right, guys. Quick shout out here. My MetaFi is home of all the guest primers, all the free tournaments, all the giveaways, and all my personal guides. These guys in front of you are freshly updated over there. You see Issa Tempo, Beanstalk Control, Jeskai Wizards, Eldrazi Aggro, Blue-Eyed Riddler, Dimir Tempo, Affinity, Omniscience. All these and more you find over on my MetaFi. Use code ECO50 for a juicy 50% off your first month as a Book Smart Baron. I can't wait to see you over there. All right, we're back with more Magic here on the channel. Let's continue down the path of Days, Wasteland, Tempo on paper, but not really, because I consider this mere mid-range. My version of the deck is the more slightly bigger one with Hymns and Strix. It embraces longer games. It enables Kaito better. It fights better against bigger blue decks like Blue-Eyed X decks, you know, Beanstalk decks, Jeskai Wizards decks of the world. Hymns sometimes lights out against decks like Energy, Taxes, Cradle Control as well. Sometimes a bad draw when you're losing on board, but I think that's totally fine. This deck is mainly just a good stuff mid-range deck with solid stuff all the way up the curve, backed up by the best generic disruption, Wasteland, Thoughtseize, Force of Will. It has 4 Bowmasters for the Bowmaster fight. It has some flexible removal spells like Brazen Borrower for, you know, Chalice, Merit Lage, what have you, and then Snuff Out for the more clutch option. I recently cut a copy of Snuff Out to go back to 4 pushes because the format got more fast, with especially Is It Cutter being the main driving factor for that one. It's a 20-lane deck, so in general, we're looking to make our first 3 land drops. You know, this is Legacy, we get wasted, I daze back something, and that math is kind of off. I recently also put a Baragov into the main deck because I really wanted to fit a second Hydra in the sideboard. I did this by trimming a Murktide, so I still have the 3 fatties. Sometimes Baragov is going to be better, sometimes it's going to be worse. It doesn't pitch to Force of Will, so it's a slight deck building concession because I really want 2 Hydros. I play 3 Consign of Memories. I put 1 copy down here because I consider it a flex slot, more or less the only flex slot of the deck actually. So let's say your favorite card is a Null Rod or what have you. You can play it in this slot. Couple of Surgicals to not lose on the draw against decks like Oops and Fast Reanimator. Edicts are good against Kaito and any creature deck. Deluges, awesome against the 2 white creature decks and the Cradle deck. Second Baragov, as I talked about, negations against all sorts of combo. Brazen will come in, you know, any pseudo mirror for Murktide purposes, but it's also going to be good Merit Lage coverage and Chalice coverage. My deck is pretty good against Chalice, though. I usually have sideboard plans where I get rid of all Thoughtseizes and even Trematamio. And at that point, Chalice is not the end of the world. But yeah, let's see if we can get some sweet games in here with Dimir midrange. All right, let's play some Magic the Gathering here. I'm paired against Sylvia Wataru, which is a known tempo player. I wonder if I should put too much into that. I think going turn 1 fetch land pass is going to be my move. The Torak stresses the mana a little bit, which is not ideal, but hopefully we can get back from it. Resolving him seems pretty darn juicy. Then if the opponent goes Tamio pass, I'll kill it. Then cast him and then kind of see where the game goes from there. But yeah, him to Torak. Not free on the mana. Here's Delver. Delver, another card I will happily Fatal Push. So let's say I had a Bowmaster, I wouldn't, but I don't. So let's fetch Underground Sea and cast Fatal Push. My opponent dazes here. Him resolves. It's fine. Force of Will. The thing is, it's somewhat obvious now that my mana is bad, or I would have played out another duel, but maybe it's okay. If my opponent forces here, I'll force back because I want my, let's say, card advantage out of Force of Will. Hymning away the Wasteland there is probably pretty good for me. Let's see if they have another. They know that Wasteland would be backbreaking here, so that's why you see the opponent pondering first here before land drop. I mean, of course, there's always the scenario they don't have land, right? But that's a narrative that makes a lot of sense. I know that I'm kind of living on borrowed time here. What would be additionally brutal is if the opponent wastelands, my Wasteland land drop is bad, right? But if they go, let's say, Volcanic Island Chandler, then all of a sudden this land drop has value. So very, very polarized turn here. Okay, there it is, the Chandler. I think I'm going to let that resolve. I think there's decent chance my deck can beat that card, basically. Tamiyo is really not bad here. Did I Wasteland first? Is there any chance my opponent dazes to keep their red source alive? I guess I should not allow that. So the reason to not do this is, let's say my opponent's hand is like bolt, force blue card, right? Now they know they need to force this card, but they didn't know before because they were maybe banking on untapping with red source. Here's a Delver. That card is also fine. I think I have to kind of embrace this being a little bit of a longer game. Let's see if I get wasted here. That would be cool. But I guess they shouldn't do that because of days, right? If I have days, I return the C. Yeah. Let's see if the opponent bothers to attack here. I think that's the right word to use for it. There's also a chance I can turn these two forces into something else. Let's see. Okay, land is good. So now I should cast this Brainstorm and see if I can find Orcish Bowmasters. I can, so I get rid of what? Force? Is that it? No, force land probably. Yeah, let's do that. So that and that. Flip. Pump so I don't forget. I'll fetch Basic Island so that in some weird long game, double Wasteland doesn't get me. Yeah, let's play this card out. If I get dazed, it is what it is. I do get dazed. Let's see if the opponent gets Delirium, right? That's pretty important. I feel like I need this Bowmaster in play. The opponent keeps the card. I need this Bowmaster. Let's see if they also have Force Blue card as the last two. So now I have to kill the Delver. Because my opponent just got instant into the yard. Okay, got it. Alright, so I had to pitch my Kaito there, which was bad, but I also feel like I had to resolve this Bowmaster. So now there's a little bit of a eye-staring contest. But this card should be good. Bowmasters in play is awesome when the opponent doesn't have any red mana. Let's plus this before we forget. Let's crack a clue. I have a bunch of draws I would love to play here, including that card. So land, Tamiyo, attack for 2. Funnily enough, this Tamiyo actually holds back the Chandler, because the Chandler's a 2/3. Yep, that's why the opponent has to make a play like that. Pitch the Brainstorm. Leave a card on top. Okay, we have some kind of a game here where all it takes is my opponent's last card being a Murktide, and they draw land, right? And then that's awesome for the opponent. Let's see if it is Murktide. It looks to be. That's very strong. Oh, it's not. It's Lightning Bolt, Tamiyo dead. Okay. So we kind of begin a normal game here. The opponent mills over days, and I draw this one. Bloodstrand improves my draw with the Surveil land I put back. So currently, I favor myself, but it's just like a random Murktide, and I could just lose the game out of nowhere, right? I could lose the game out of nowhere, and I don't like losing the game out of nowhere. Oh, I don't like this either. Looks like the opponent found it. Oh, okay. That's fair. So, Naked Cutter, and it's very hard to double spell into Bowmasters. But of course, it's possible. Middle over bobble makes a lot of sense. And now, I think if I find an action card, I'm looking very, very good this game. Can we do it? We can do it. Merced Regente is an action card if I ever saw one. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And now the opponent has to draw a very, very strong card. Probably their own Merced Regent. Because otherwise this Chandler is suiciding into the Murktide. Every cantrip is a dead draw. Yeah, that's the must attack here. So we got there after Time the Wasteland in the beginning being, what's that word called? Patient with making sure our Bowmaster resolves with our Force of Will, and then just letting the percentages play out, essentially. So that's kind of cool. All right, that is a tough matchup these days. I have 6 cards here, and I have 6 cards here. Counterspells usually, the fair matchups are a little bit of liabilities, where these cards are just generally always good, but Daze is like very contextual. Force is more, like game 1, the opponent also has forces, right? So it's more of a serviceable card than a good card. Because the opponent forced that game, and so did I, right? That's the only thing that kind of made it fine, that it evened out, so to speak. We both had a bad play, which then made the play average. Kind of like playing Pauper, where everybody has card advantage, so it's not as backbreaking when somebody resolves like Muldrifter or what have you, because you just have similar stuff in your deck. That's how I treat game 1 Force of Wills anyway. I'm always happy when I see them in my opponent's deck post-sideboard, because usually they're just helping a situation where you're already winning, right? It's like you're punching downwards, so to speak. It doesn't help me catch up. Yeah, the Izzet matchup is always cool. I'm a lot more confident now with 2 Hydroblasts, because Hydroblast was off the map for a hot moment. Like, Izzet's almost 0 play, Moderate Prison was 1% deck, Hexing Squelcher wasn't printed yet, all of that jazz. But now, Izzet and Moon are heavily played. Hexing Squelchers all over. Oh, I maybe should have thought about my Thoughtseize count here. Let's see. Yeah, I think it was, funnily enough, I think I was better off cutting, like keeping 2 Dazes and having 2 Thoughtseizes on the sideboard. I was too fast there. It's mainly, I want to draw the first Thoughtseize, but anything beyond that is like, ooh, not ideal, not ideal. This hand is not great, by the way. This hand is just fine. Okay. Well, it looks tempting to try and wasteland my opponent, but I actually think it's more important to try and catch. Oh my god, that is a decent draw. This changes a lot, because if I now go turn 1 Thoughtseize, I need the option to turn 2 Wasteland and then play my Tamiyo, so I cannot fetch a basic here. All right, let's Thoughtseize, see if we can catch a good Magic the Gathering card. These cards seem quite beatable. Let's see if that is the case. Lightning Bolt kills Tamiyo. What did my opponent keep on top of the deck here? Threat would be very annoying. You can argue this Murktide I'll just kill later. Yeah, I don't think I should worry about this Murktide. Maybe I shouldn't worry about... Huh. These are some interesting cards. So way down the line, Daze and Unholy Heat kill Baragov. Maybe this is just going to be a long one. I'm supposed to take the Murktide Regent. But then again, what's the purpose of my Borrower then? Yeah. What if I take the Bolt so that I can play Tamiyo next turn? The opponent will have to Daze it. Yeah, let's do that. It's a lot about planning and understanding this is going to go super long. Let's see if my opponent has a 1-drop here. Wasteland. Okay, they did find a 1-drop, which is very, very annoying. Let's fetch Basic Island play Tamiyo here. If the opponent has to daze here, I think that's totally fine. That's kind of the whole point, that then if that happens, then it's more likely that future Baragoyf gets through the cracks, etc. All right. That got dazed. The opponent still has a 1/1. No bauble, no creature. Flooded Strand. Eat, Murktide, Volcanic, one unknown is the opponent's hand. I was about to say I would do a lot of things to draw Orcish Bowmasters here. All right, let's try it out. Tough to say what the opponent will do here. They could just take the turn, right? So I will cast Bowmaster now, even though they have like a Surveil on the land. That's why I gave them the chance on the end step. So this is another payoff for eating the days previously. Now I think the opponent has to be, I'm not going to say lucky, but they at least have to. So now what they're going to do is they're going to heat. So they're going to try and hit on top one. They need an artifact or a creature. Or that Chandler's dead. Let's see. Oh, Bolt. Okay, so I got to kill the Chandler. They still have the heat, so never mind about that. The land, heat, Murktide. Okay, ponder. So heat, Murktide is left over there, and I get Kaito going now, but that will die to unholy heat. So it's not like it's a fine exchange. It's not a great exchange. Let me put it that way. Edict. Okay. I think it's okay to go Kaito here. I lose the 1/1, but I eat an unholy heat and I get a good draw here, probably. Yeah, these cards are quite good. I need both. I need both of these magic cards. I kind of have all of their threats handled here, between Brazen on Merc, Edict on whatever, Bowmasters. So now let's see if the opponent plays around days. I guess because of the onboard Wasteland, there's no point. So now the opponent plays Murktide Reed and has one magic card left in hand. Very good situation for me. So I think what I'm going to do here is bounce the Merc. Yeah. Bounce the Merc. Hold up. Bounce the Merc, hold up Bowmasters, maybe? Hold up Hydro for Cutter on the stack, etc. Yeah, that's not bad. And then maybe chill and use Hydro as, you know, counter Bolt, counter whatever. Hang on to the Wasteland so I can cast Baragoyf through getting wasted. Cast Baragoyf through a daze, stuff like that. I should probably just chill here because I'm so ahead. Okay, so it looks like the opponent made it a 7/7. One magic card in hand. Oh, that's wrong. This is the one. So that card back to hand. Play land. Did I surveil this game? I didn't surveil. Probably chill. I don't think there's a reason to get dazed this game. Land. Now the opponent can go tap 3 lands to play a 5/5 Murktide. That's not bad. Yes. End step surveil. Taking a chill here. The opponent can do the same, by the way. Ooh, Baleful Strix. That card is incredible here. I think I'm supposed to tap like this because the answers for Baleful Strix are red, and I don't see a reason to get wasted out of Hydro backup. Even though Bowmaster, holding a Bowmaster is a little bit juicy as well. Okay, Fatal Push covers some small ball stuff later. I think this is good. The opponent can surveil. Yeah, we're in a really commanding position. We need to get very unlucky to lose this game. But that's why we play the game. Days into the yard. Play the game out because weird stuff happens in Magic. Just lots of good exchanges here from the Bowmasters to, I guess, getting dazed on the early Tamiyo was good as well. Was that the same game I'm talking about here? Yeah. Then getting heated on the Kaito and just slowly but surely grinding. Delver of Secrets, you got it. Orcish Bowmasters will be very delighted to see you. Ponder. If I cast that card, I introduce Daze into my life on like a cutter. And maybe it's not that bad because then they can't trigger the cutter, right? I feel like these Murktides are very good, but if I get wasted, they're very bad. So maybe just shuffle these. I don't think I need to make Wasteland a good draw for my opponent. All right, let's pass here and upkeep the Bowmaster. Delver, trigger on the stack. Here's Bowmasters killing off the Delver, shutting down future cantrips. While the Baleful Strix is kind of holding the fort. Let's see. The opponent wants to look at that card. This seems almost impossible for the opponent. So here's the exact situation where if I get dazed, I look super silly. Let's see. If I take 5 here, I untap an Edict. How am I losing this game? I'm trying to make sense of my opponent's last card. Because I think it's daze here so often. Okay, I'm gonna let this resolve and actually respect the daze. Not perfect, but I think it has to be done here. So it's either a land or a daze, I think, when the opponent passes in this spot. So let's think. I have some mana to work with this turn. I think casting Brainstorm here is good because then I can Edict and maybe find something worth 1 mana. Thoughtseize. I'm not gonna prioritize that card. Put back those two maybe. Thoughtseize land. I think that's solid. So then I go land. Attack for 2. Upkeep Edict. Sheoldred's Edict. Opponent sacrifices a creature. And a slow and steady wins the race here. The card that cooks me here is a card I refuse to think my opponent has in the deck, which is Force Negation. So that's why I like to play like this. Because now I end up in a spot where I make Daze an irrelevant card for the cost of taking 5 damage. So let me fetch here to not draw the same card. Draw another Wasteland. Let's see. Am I ever wastelanding my opponent here? There's like some non-0% chance that my opponent is on cards like, I don't know, True Name Nemesis is something I've seen in the past. Let's play like this. If I double wasteland my opponent, the Hydro is kind of off again, but maybe that's True Name Nemesis. Is that ever a magic card? It does cook me here, and I might be misremembering, but I think I've seen this player play True Name Nemesis before. If I double waste, I don't hold up Hydro. Well, then I get dazed, right? Okay, let's try this. Play Baragoyf, attack, and then let me Wasteland here. Let me Wasteland here. Pass. I wonder what's in my opponent's hand. It's like that same days or some slow rolled cutter stuff. Yeah, this was pretty. It was bread and butter, but then there was the cool situation of whether to fire the Hydro on the Pyro or accept to take the damage. So let's imagine a world where I don't have the Edict, then I have to fight, then I get blown out by days, and I maybe lose this game in the air before Baragoyf arrives, right? But here it's kind of cruise control, onboard Bowmasters, Baragoyf, healthy life total, and some good answers. But yeah, the beginning of this game was that was key for the outcome. All right, let's play some more. Guys, last month I launched my YouTube membership program. You can become a YouTube Baron. For $5 per month, you get Metagame Monday After Dark, where I basically dissect all the numbers from Metagame Monday, turn them into actual solutions for us to win tournaments in the week to come. And then I have this juicy series with Eureka Eyes on the Prize, where we replay the 5 challenge finals every week. So basically, we get to see some championship action week after week. So that's 2 additional videos for the cost of $5 per month. I can highly recommend. But wait, there's more. When I get to 100 members, I will give away this awesome artist proof signed Kappa Cannoneer. Beautiful card, a retro frame hollow. If you want to be in that draw, go become a YouTube Baron. I hope to see you over there. All right, more Magic the Gathering coming your way, and this hand looks delicious. Turn 1 Tameo, turn 2 Hymn to Torok, force backup. Creature removal at the ready. This is cool. Put on a lot of pressure. I might even fight over my Tameo if they try and kill it, depending on, you know, which land they play, which removal spell they play, and all of that jazz. Our mana is secretly the weak spot here. Let's see if the opponent sniffs that out. Vault of Whispers. So I'm playing against Storm, which makes a lot of the things I'm doing here irrelevant. Let's see if I can Hexing Squelcher. Well, that card is pretty darn strong. Can you also kill me? Wow, that's sick. Turn 1 with Squelcher backup. Yep, you got it. Flipping the Tameo and drawing the worst hand possible is comedy. I always enjoy when those are on camera. It's so bad. Not even a removal spell for the Squelcher. Not even nothing here. Thoughtseize is, you know, one of the better standalone cards I can think about. So let's see if this makes me competitive or just lose next turn to whatever the opponent has going on. All right. Getting Veiled. You're up, opponent. Yeah, that went from... that was a 180. That's what the term I was looking for. I really love my hand. What could go wrong, right? Turn 1 Tameo with Forceful backup? What could possibly go wrong? I even had the Fatal Push. So let's say the opponent doesn't kill me there. I can probably set up some blowouts. That was cool. Storm. Storm with Hexing Squelcher. Yeah, it's a scary proposition because, I mean, I have some fine cards. These Hydros are doing a lot of weight here. But I'm still, you know, I can lose to Saga. Excuse me. I can lose towards a Saga. I kind of need a Force in my opener. I guess when I play first, a Thoughtseize is fine. Yeah, always a dangerous matchup. Because even when you kind of survive the night, you also have to put away the opponent before they kind of draw out of it. So this looks like a Song of Creation, and I have 0 chance to win this game. If they go for Gaia's Will, they replay the 2 zeros, including Ritual and the Beseech. Let's count Storm. Gaia's Will 3, 4 Petal, 5 Opal, 6. Let's see what this is. Sacrificing the Saga. Wait a minute. I think the opponent could have killed me here with Gaia's Will, but I guess they just have, you know, room to not necessarily do that. Yeah, they could have killed me with Gaia's Will here, I feel like. Let's count. Two, let's see, 1, 2, 3 Will, 4, 5. They even had one more Beseech, so 6, 7, 8. Maybe it was only 9. I don't know. Okay, well, here we go again, and I need removal spell encounters, which is funny. So now at least, if the opponent has to go like Dark Ritual, right, with no support zeros, then there's a chance I can stall my opponent. Petal resolves. I'm over here hoping these dazes are good. I don't even know what I'm hoping for. Like, the opponent taps out for something, of course. Sacks a petal, taps out. Come on, you can do it, buddy. I'm very willing to let my opponent... Okay. So the opponent couldn't keep on going here. Now I'll push the Squelcher. Wait a minute. No, I messed up. No, I messed up. I hope you can see it. Otherwise, you're going to see it right now. Ah. Oh, you're not going to see it. Yeah, I should have responded to the petal by killing the Squelcher, right? Because that's the green mana. They're probably like a 3 or 4 Veil deck. Ah, that was abysmal. All right, Magic's a hard game. And we draw out of it. That is abysmal. I think the only way for me to win this game is to hope these days are good. Let's play a Tamiyo. Let's plus a Tamiyo. If I had like Thoughtseize, Force of Will, whatever in rotation, I would probably bring that back because I don't trust these 2 dazes. Now the opponent untaps with a bunch of mana. 4 mana total. Any ritual obsoletes. Yep, that's a good one. So now the coast is clear for the opponent. That's their quote-unquote silence. I can only win this game if the opponent cannot beat me, has to pass, and I get to bring back Fatal Push and kind of keep going. Lion's Eye Diamond. It's always... I mean, those decks look so fun to play, right? But when you're casting draw 7s and you're not winning, ugh, that's bad. The opponent passes to... No, they don't. They just go to the second main for good measure. Burning Wish with no Lion's Eye Crack in response. But I guess... Oh, this is too funny. So we kind of have a new go at it here, I guess. So I don't draw removal spell. I was about to say that's the most important one here. So this is a forced flip, but I keep this one. If I had a push here, I could do stuff, right? Then it's all about killing this card, forcing their action, thought seizing them into oblivion, make this go to 8, gamble. So what can I do here? The opponent mills the LED. That didn't happen. So we're going to go again. This is too funny. This is my opponent 4th draw 7 without actually improving. No push, no snuff out, which is sad. We find the push, we find the force. So you're saying there's a chance. And the Hymn to Torok. And the Wasteland. I mean, We have some stuff here. Let's see if I can play the game this time. Let's respond to the rainbow mana. That's my opponent's a Veil of Summer deck. So the thing about this is this in theory disincentivizes the opponent from going for it, but the Tamiyo in play should kind of be the motivational factor. Let's see what this is. And okay, well, okay. We don't keep going here. And if they had to draw 7, they would have cast it. So this is just too funny. Thoughtseize is insane. So now, do I trust that I can just rip my opponent's hand to shreds, draw 20 next turn? 25, 20, whatever? What happens if I go bring back push, him the opponent? That's probably how I have to play, right? I think that's better. Bring back Fatal Push. Kill the Goblin. Him to Torok or Thoughtseize my opponent. I think it's him to Torok because it's better on the mana. Double Saga, I guess I'm reasonably excited about. One of them I had covered. The other one could end up being a trouble card. Yeah, this is great. Okay, so now we are in command. Yes. Let's Thoughtseize, I guess. Take the Chrome. Do I have a Surveil Lane in my deck? I do. So play that one. And now my opponent needs back-to-back bangers or Squelcher into action. Otherwise, yeah, this game is super weird. Go to 9. Natty Tendrils is a thing. Baragoyf. Baragoyf, the big stabilizer. Let's play out the Wasteland. You never know. Big Baragoyf. Trying to get the job done here. How many sagas are in the yard? The opponent has 2 sagas in the yard. Am I ever supposed to get rid of this Spire? I feel like if the opponent plays Urza Saga, I have that beat. Let me get rid of the Spire. So basically, my opponent's playing mono black here. The opponent has to pass, and I draw a million cards. Yeah, this is funny. Let's draw 20-something cards. So let's see. I should cast Thoughtseize, I guess. Yeah, that was a sick. That was a great game. I was pretty sure I was dead, but the opponent just kept drawing, you know, not lethal stuff. And then when I had a bad draw 7 hand, the opponent was forced to do it one more time, which is hilarious when you think about it. Consign to Memory. Is that a good card against the deck? It is an Urza Saga deck with, I guess, the Storm mechanic, but I'm not too excited about it. Orcish Bowmasters could be playable in small numbers, but it's quite bad. I think I need to board down to 1 Fatal Push, and it's even possible the Snuff Out is just better. Yeah, the Snuff Out is better. What happens if I board like this? Wasteland is good. Brazen Borrower, I guess, is a blue magic card. That is probably better than a black magic card. So, Bowmasters. I mean, Bowmaster's probably decent. Him, that's a slow one. I can probably get away with cutting a land here. I have a lot of unexciting cards. Bowmasters. I mean, if the opponent can't resolve a Veil, it's pretty good against the draw 7. In some spots, I guess. Not perfect. That's why I think 2 is a decent number. 1 Snuff, 2 Hydros is the only goblin removal. Maybe I'm supposed to do like this. Should I just get it out of there entirely and say I don't plan for you to resolve that card, so I don't want Bowmasters? Tough to say. Yeah, I'll try this. Storm is a tough one. The opponent cast 4 Time Twisters that game and didn't get there. I feel like I have a pretty good idea about what I needed to have happen. I have a pretty good idea about to play against the Hexing Squelcher. Maybe that's something to take away from that game is if you understand you need to kill that and have a force. It's like a double layer. And when you don't, the opponent has free roam, but when you do, the card is not all that impressive. All right, any hand with 3 spells, 2 of them being force blue card, I think is a keep against Storm. Let's let the opponent play here and see what they're going for. Chrome Mox, land, Goblin or what? Yeah, Goblin. Dang, that's brutal. So now I need to draw a removal spell before my opponent tries and win. Can we do it? Not this time. All right. So in theory, we have 1 Snuff out on our deck for the Hail Mary in case the opponent presents a must kill. Versus Saga, nothing. Okay. The opponent's waiting for something. Guess I should surveil here. My hand is quite bad, so I think I need the full, you know, I need Brainstorm to get me 2 of these cards out of here. Thoughtseize. Is that what the game is about? Or do I already have my hands full with the Saga tokens? I think I have my hands full with those. Maybe step 1 is deal with that. So I'll try and dig for Wasteland. Ooh, this is terrible, because now, even if I find the Wasteland, I'll have to redraw these bad cards. Yeah, this is abysmal. How to play. I think I should... Yeah, I mean, the Swamp is just terrible. And then what is my best card? Is that the Thoughtseize? Could be. So then next turn, what do I draw? Next turn I draw Thoughtseize. Yeah, probably. So now Wasteland, the Ursa Saga. Still can't counter anything, remember. This card blanks Force of Will. I need Hydroblast, Snuff Out, or the 1 Fatal Push. Ooh, this is probably gonna be game over. Abysmal draws here. My opener was, you know, it needed a little bit of help, but oof, bad Brainstorm. Very bad. Because now I don't have any plays. I mean, I'll cast a Thoughtseize, but it's not going to do much good here. The opponent can even veil me here. Can't do anything about it. Yep. Yeah, this game is over, barring absurdity. So I guess a card like Murktide Region will handle these bad creatures, but the problem is the coast is clear on broken stuff. Unanswered Squelcher. Wild card. I guess unanswered Ursa Saga as well, right? Ooh, the opponent wants to kill me. Oh no, they don't. Yes, will. Sure, buddy. So now I'll take 2, go to 12, and some of my best draws are random creatures. Is that the random creature I wanted? Let's play Tameo. Now the opponent can go and get LED. That makes a lot of sense. That Echo of Eons is one of the cards in the opponent's hand. I need a way better draw for game 3 to compete here. Consign of Memory can also handle Saga, can handle a Storm Trigger. It looks like there's a draw 7 on our hands here. Tameo gets flipped. Nope. Never mind. It takes 6, I guess. So now what happens if I go Kaito, stun? Kaito stun, chum block, Kaito dies. Yeah. Okay. Let's play next game. Yeah, that was uneventful to say the least. Holy moly, that was bad. I do like my setup here, I think. Hymn the Days and Wasteland all get better on the play. I think I have the right number of answers for the Goblin. Let's see if we can find a solid mix. This looks like a solid mix to me. All right. I think the plan here is turn 1 Tameo, accept that I'm losing to turn 1 with Veil or a Goblin backup, and then kind of sit behind the Hydro plus Forcible wall afterwards. Veil will be incredible against me this game. I have most other stuff locked down. I have the Saga locked down with Wasteland, Goblin with Hydro. Okay, so the opponent's holding up Veil here, which I don't like. I'll probably Wasteland my opponent here. At least have a very serious thought about it. Arctide Region. If I Wasteland here, I'm bad against Ursa Saga. Is that acceptable? Is that acceptable? Yeah, it probably is over the line. So I think I have to play like this. But I will think about Wastelanding if I kind of confirm that my opponent's mana is susceptible. All right. So far, so good. LED. Sure. So draw 7 with Veil is bad for me. Let's draw a card with the Tameo. Second Force would be amazing. Second Wasteland would be good. Second Wasteland it is. So let's get rid of the Saga and kind of keep playing the game at this pace. Sure, buddy. Attack with Tameo. The Goblin plus kill. I'm not weak to. I have that covered. But I think as long as I can just crack Clue and keep moving here, I'm okay. Because I have a lot of draws that it favors me, basically. Like when I find the second Force, I'm in the driver's seat. If I find like Thoughtseize, him, stuff like that, I like my spot. Okay. That card is good. Ah, buddy. Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy. Here's a Veil of Summer. Do you have 2 of those? That's my question. Let me pitch Baleful Strix. I think that is quite easily my worst card here. When the opponent plays like this, I just have to assume they can do something, right? Draw 7, and we have a game where the opponent's winning. Let's see. Ooh. They got too scared about Bowmasters. Interesting. I mean, the more they wait, I guess that's better for me, because I can find some good cards. I feel like if they had second Veil, they would have gone for it easily, just played one more, right, in response, and then draw 7, so they don't. What do they have? What if I Wasteland, I Ponder, I try and find Thoughtseize or Force of Will, hold up the Hydro. Let's kill the Spire. I feel like the opponent has to draw 7. But I can't do anything about that. Aside from, you know, digging for a Thoughtseize. It's pretty good that I open up Thoughtseize as a draw there. If I don't Wasteland, I can Ponder before, but now the problem is... Well, maybe... Oh, maybe... Yeah, okay. If I play... Yeah, dang. I should have Pondered before, because if I hit, like, let's say, bad cards in a Hymn, I would have kept the Hymn and cast it. Yeah, now I don't have that chance. Okay, I made a bad play. And there's the Hymn to Torok. What do you know? If my opponent casts draw 7, I will tap them out with a Daze, try and play from there. Then next turn I can Hymn. Is there some kind of combo with Brazen and Hymn that I'm missing? That could be. I think this is fine without being impressive. I'm still holding up Hydro, and now the Snuff Out is in rotation for in case I need to kill the Goblin. And now I'm tapped down from Bowmasters. Yeah, I may have botched it here. If I Ponder first there, the thing is, I needed to Wasteland before going to my second main phase, so my opponent couldn't float the mana. But I unfortunately botched it. This enables the Mox as a mana source, so that turns on Infernal Tutor. Yep, I need to Daze here, so my opponent taps the Spire, so they don't have Infernal Tutor mana. Because this way I get to Hymn my opponent before they get to cast, like, Wish Claw or Infernal Tutor. I'm just trying to try and kind of shrink my opponent's range here. Okay, so I just get draw 7, or at least that's what the opponent wanted, right? So counter target spell if it's red, boom, and then Hymn the rest of the hand, and then cross my fingers. I feel like they would have draw 7 if they had it with the way they played here. So now I draw the Hymn to Torok. If I get rid of like a 2-drop in the opponent's hand here, this Daze could be one for the history books. My card after this is Snuff Out. So the problem is I haven't reached more than some kind of status quo here. Let's see if there's a 2-mana tutor thing that I kept up. That's sick. That is so sick. This is Magic the Gathering, right? The opponent could just rip a draw 7 and kill me, but dang, I'm proud about that one. Very, very cool Daze. The opponent has to pass. So now what? Here's a snuff out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, this can't really do anything else but play a big Merc. So let's think here. If I play big Murktide, I'm trying to slam the game. Yeah, I think that's the move. Am I supposed to leave the force in there and just make a 7/7? I could see that. I should hold up this mana because I have one Fatal Push in my deck. And there might be some draw 7 situation where I draw exactly that with some force backup. Oh boy, this game is awesome. So many puzzle solving here, and I could just easily lose with the drop of a hat, right? So I'm just appreciating being alive here because I played this very well. So funnily enough, it looks like leaving the force in the yard ends up being good, but let's see. Let us... would I if I draw Wasteland, would I crack it? Maybe. Okay, land. Clue. Plus pass. This is the big turn for the opponent, I feel like. It's time to shine, opponent. You didn't shine, okay. I drew another force. That's crazy, because now I can go land minus on the force, attack for 8, have double force. Crazy. Wow. Now the opponent has to beat double force. And I even have a 0 mana answer for the Squelcher. Dark Ritual. Yes. Yes. 2 cards. So I predicted that is Action and Veil. And this is no imprint, but let's see, I guess. Veil and Beseech. It's my prediction. Tendrils of Agony. Or 6. So if I force 1 copy, they go to 8 and die. Let's counter the original. So if they have the draw 7, I force that, and I'm a big party stopper. All right, we win this match. That's crazy. Ah, that was so sick to have on camera. This is one of the coolest situations. Just isolating what you can actually beat and then play towards it. That daze was like a difference maker. Otherwise, the opponent fires Infernal Tutor, kills me, right? But I get them to tap down so they can't. Then I hymn them away and they get draw some blanks as I needed them to, right? That's super sick. All right, I hope you guys appreciated that one. Let's play one more. All right, match 3. We're on the draw here against the Cowboy, and this looks like a hand where we need to draw some lands, but that's Magic the Gathering. I would rather do that than mulligan and, you know, consider myself unlucky ahead of schedule. Here's a Tameo that I will have to try and kill turn 1. That's what that card does. Let's see if we can draw land. The problem with this play pattern is if I have a swamp, I play it. If I have a sea, I play it. So it's kind of obvious my mana is bad here, but that's how it goes. We cannot let Tameo hit us, and then we're just accepting to lose before Wasteland shows up. All right. Underground Sea down. And we are in big trouble here. Let's see if the opponent can follow up here. Brainstorm. All right. All right, all right. We are, unfortunately, a few lands away from playing the game for real here. Sometimes you get wasted. Let's see what the opponent's follow-up here is. It's going to be an Underground Sea. But the thing is, the opponent is on the Nethergoyf. Okay. The opponent doesn't really care about getting wasted here, I think. But I think I should hope that they care about getting wasted. I don't think, you know, hanging on to the wasteland does anything. Here's the next land. Here's the next play out of the opponent. I think realistically I need like 2 lanes in a row at this point. And I think if I do get that, there's a chance, but yeah, it's very slim. So now, this is a kind of a cool thought seize. The opponent has to kind of assume that I'm drawing a land, because if I don't, nothing really matters, right? So they have to assume I'm drawing a land. Then if I do, which card are they supposed to take here? They take Brainstorm because the first land will probably turn into the second with Brainstorm. So I like that choice. Now I just need to draw 2 lands naturally. All right. I've seen enough. Let's go to sideboarding here. Dimir tempo with Nethergoyfs. 1, 2, 3, 4. Cut the forces. Very straightforward. The 2 dazes are serviceable in a world of Baragoyf. And this sideboard plane is super solid for the mirror. This is all part of what goes into, you know, coming up with sideboarding the Brazen or prioritizing the Sheldred's Edict, that those cards are just serviceable to good against the mirror match, right? All right. We have some solid stuff here. What if I play turn 1 Thoughtseize, turn 2 Cameo? Turn 1 Thoughtseize, turn 2 Cameo. Try and see what's up over here, see if we can curate a smart plan. Well, the opponent's mana is weak this game. That's something. I actively want my opponent to fetch a dual land here, I think. And Verdant does exactly that. What if I take... If I take the Tameo, will my opponent Thoughtseize me? Probably. This is probably going to be a long one, no matter how you slice it. If I take the Tameo and I get Thoughtseized, do I daze? Probably. Okay, let's take the Tameo. Let's plan to daze a Thoughtseize. Let's see what how the opponent plays here. I'm not even sure I can predict this. Basic Swamp. Okay. So they basically prefer to not be out of the game to a wasteland. That's cool. They should have realized, though, that when I took the blue card, if I wanted them to fetch the blue source, I would have left them with the blue card. Yeah, I think it's pretty good to cash in a daze here. You could say, oh yeah, I'm losing tempo, but not really, right? It's not crucial at all. So now I draw another Tameo. That's actually one of the best draws in my deck, because now my opponent's going to prioritize this with a Fatal Push. And I follow up with another. Okay, the opponent's in the game. That's perfect. Fatal Push, it's all goody. And here's... I wonder if the opponent's actually ready with the C now. If they find C now, I think it's very inconsistent what they're doing. because now they just end up getting somewhat cooked by... Yeah, I agree. Ooh, very nice draw. So the opponent had some nice draws here. Land and Tamiyo. And I draw a dead regent. Huh. All right, let's play Tamiyo. See what the opponent is up to here. Flipping the Tamiyo is annoying, but I do have quite the total of answers to that. Between 2 Brazen's, 2 Edict, and good old beats. Yeah. The opponent drew well out of the slump, so I'm not sure I did. Maybe a little bit of both, right? Second Tamiyo was good. Second Merc was atrocious. But that was good. So now this is flipped and puts on some pressure. Now the question is the opponent's move to try and keep me down? It is. Okay. Yeah, that's annoying. That's very, very annoying. 4/5 Nethergoyf. Very, very strong in any, like, resource exchange. There's a land which lets me Murktide, but that card gets killed is kind of the problem. Let's see. So I should Murk and leave, actually, a card in the yard. I think it's fine to make it 4/4 here. Because it pressures the Tamiyo. Let's attack. I wonder... Could just be in trouble here, period, but... Let's see. Beat the cycle. Is a card that kills the Murktide, but it costs a little bit of graveyard. I could have made the Murk 1 bigger, but if I do that, you know, future Murktide is worse, and the opponent could just kill it, so... It looks weird, but I do like it. Let's see if this is just a tick up to... Ooh, very good draw. Yeah, the opponent's draw steps were tough to beat this game. The opponent decides to beat Daze here. I like that decision. That's a good play. Beat the cycle onto the Merc. Nethergoyf is now a 3/4, but they can just put land to the yard, so I wouldn't read too much into that. Shepherd's Edict is great because it kills Tamiyo. Nethergoyf is a somewhat big creature that I have to deal with. I think the move is to pass here, and then when my opponent fetches to Surveil, I kind of punch with Edict. Because I kind of make them make a decision here. And then I kind of just play the Edict to kill the Planeswalker. Because I think it's easier for me to just draw like a push or play some chum blockers. Eto is a big boy, though. Now they're going into the bin. I'll try and have my opponent sacrifice a walker and hope the last card is not a lethal Daze. Let's see here. The opponent can Nethergoyf from the yard, but make them kind of small while doing so. But I'm in a lot of trouble here. I guess if I draw fetch land, I stabilize pretty nicely. Okay, the opponent found Murktide off the Surveil. That is a problem. How big? 7? Yeah. So even if I get a land... Oh, wow. Yeah, this is too hard to beat. That's no shame. Losing to a sweet draw. So let's see. If I bounce that Murktide, the opponent can replay it. I mean, I guess I'll give that a go. Yeah, that's no shame. Just not drawing land, losing to 1 wasteland. It's not anybody's favorite legacy game, right? But it happens. And then here, The opponent just had better draws in the, like when we were both in the dirt. Oh. Okay. The opponent does not redeploy because they don't want to make the Netherglyph irrelevant. All right. Maybe there's a game here? I don't know. All right, I'm at 5. The opponent has the Murktide in hand. And I draw a Fatal Push. That's kind of funny. Let's kill this card now. Pass. So now I can build a 6/6. What can I? Oh, that's a good one because now the opponent can build a 7/7. Yeah, that should do it. 1, 2. No, 6/6 still. Okay, well, same point because they take the regent. What? 1. Why is the opponent not replaying? That's weird. Okay, well, I need to find out why is my opponent not replaying that. That's probably because of Orcish Bowmasters. I don't agree with the play, but that's the only reason I can think about. Why is my opponent not replaying that card? 1, 2, 3. I mean, it must be because of Bowmasters, so I guess I'm in a terrible spot. And now what? Now they're going to do it and eat their mana? And I have Bowmasters to come over the top of this? 4, draw, 3. I mean, I'm in trouble, but I'm not sure the opponent should allow me this. They could have just killed me with a Murktide. Okay. Sometimes Magic is a puzzle, because it doesn't really matter what I would have done, right? Sometimes you can use that to deduce what the opponent's going to do, and sometimes this happens. Yeah, I accidentally skipped the turn here. Oh, that was... Okay, well... Yeah, I skipped the turn here. So I was supposed to cast that Ponder, quite obviously, right? So now... I need to double block to not die, lose to any card in Magic, from Fatal Push to Bowmasters to even Brazen Borrower. Here's another Bowmaster that I will cast a Brainstorm in response to. And this will do it, right? Because kill. What do I do then? Then this card is kind of cooking me. And the 3/3 I can bounce. I mean, am I 100% dead? I'm not sure about that. Let's see. Ping. Eat in combat. Yeah, I wish I pondered last turn. If I pondered last turn, I would have had to shut this game, despite that wasn't supposed to happen. But I was not strong enough. Okay. So wasteland the opponent out of, but I have a blank on top, right? So even if I do this, I'm gonna get hit to 1 and draw blank. Yeah. If I cast that Ponder, I can give myself a fighting chance for the opponent to, have a dead Murktide and the game kind of goes on. Okay, yeah, I'm sad. Okay, I should have given my deck that chance, but 2 fat fingers. All right, that's gonna bring us to the end of the video. I had a lot of fun playing Blue-Black Tempo. Always a sweet deck. I wish I played a little bit better in the last match, but I think the others more than made up for it, so whatever score you're keeping, I hope you enjoyed the show as well. If you like what you see over here, consider becoming a Meta5 member. I have guides, I have tournaments, I have the best community, I have guest primers, and yeah, that should be interesting for anybody looking up to up their legacy game and just improve while having the time of their life, which is the point of a game, in my opinion. And of course, my YouTube membership program, Metagame Monday After Dark, where I basically dissect all the numbers from Metagame Monday. I make the solutions for the week to come, and Barons are crushing tournaments left and right using that methodology. So big recommend here. Obviously, I'm a little bit biased, but yeah, check it out. Yeah, I can't wait to play more Magic on the channel. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you back soon for some more sweet, sweet Legacy action.